Okay, I am back. I had an job at well, it's not really a job interview. It was an audition today um, over at Knott's Berry Farm. We'll see if I get it. I've auditioned there twice in the last 2 days for two different jobs, and we'll see if I. Over Halloween, I did. I was a puppeteer at on one of the mazes. But a couple other jobs came up for the peanut celebration in February, so I'm hoping that I get one of those. So keep your fingers crossed because I might actually have some gainful employment. All right. So I didn't want to. That's the reason I'm late is because I that ran a little longer than I thought it was going to. So yesterday I started working on the first prototype for this Gonzo mech, which is all cardboard and duct tape and or gaff tape, and but it at least kind of works. It works well enough to move on to the second step, which last night I started making a little bit more robust version of it, and so that would be the mouth plate, and that would be how you operate it. Obviously, there's not enough there to really see what I'm doing, but you can kind of see how, if that were installed in a head, that it would work. Now there's no lower jaw yet because that's all foam, but I'm going to show you how I did this. I think it's kind of cool. All right, so this is the original one. This is the cardboard part, which corresponds to this part right here. And on the original one, I just gaff taped that piece of tubing right there. So what I did on this one was there's a piece of tubing in here, and then I took wire and I drilled 2 holes in the bend. This is a piece of polystyrene for the upper mouth plate, and I drilled 2 holes or 6 holes, 2 on either side of where the tube was, and then cinched it down like I do on the tubing in the hands, and then covered that in plumber's epoxy, 2-part epoxy, and then bent this partially into the position that this wire is. But I left a lot more on the edges so that it would conform. The other thing I found was on my plans, which I don't see here. Here they are. On my original plans, that the mouth plate that I had was actually labeled for both upper and lower, and it was smaller than I thought it was. I actually thought it was this size, but it's actually, let me get this in here. It's that size, which actually matches up a lot better. And I may have gotten that bend a little too severe, but I'm not going to worry about it because still this is a prototype. But you can see now the amount of space I have to work with. And I'm also going to, I think, cover the whole thing with foam in order to make the lower lip work. I'm not 100% sure about that. I'll have to look at the original that I have, but I think it's a dyed Scott foam or reticulated foam for the upper and the lower, and you just need this as a resistance. I'm also not 100% sure if I need that little piece that goes over. I still think I need some resistance on those eyeballs, but there it is. That's how it'll work. So let me get, I think I'm going to get a couple, well, maybe I'll take this guy apart because he's kind of done his due diligence now. And this is all still, this is not the final. This is still a prototype. If I can get it working, then I might actually take it to foam. But once that's all done, I'll basically take it apart, make patterns off of everything, and I'll know a little bit better what I'm getting myself into. So we all agreed that these eyes were about the right size. So if that's the case, I think I need to put these together into one piece. I think the best way to do that is to run a well, maybe I'll just use a little plumber's epoxy. Again, this is just a prototype, so who knows? And the pupils are just there as of right now. It doesn't really matter what they look like yet. And I think I'm going to cut the backs out of these things in fact, maybe I'll do that right now. And the reason I say that is I think I'm going to have to basically bolt these things to the whatever structure I have in there. So if I have something like that, I think the best mode of attack is to actually run some sort of bolt through here to keep them in place. That way they won't wobble around when he's being used. And if that's the case, then I'll want to drill a hole in there and be able to cinch down the bolt. So I think having this open in the back is a good idea. So let me see. Actually, I think that's where I'll start. Yeah, this is me just trying to figure this out. And again, this is just a ping pong ball. If it doesn't work, I have another ping pong ball. And the final will probably not be a ping pong ball. I managed to get those almost the same size, which is nice. I should take these pupils off, though. I think his pupils are a little bit bigger, too. I think I'll get a paper towel. Okay. Get my favorite Goo Gone. Which may or may not melt this plastic. We'll see. And on the final one, I'll probably want to paint them white. Those are done. See, each version of this gets a little bit better until you find something that works or doesn't work. You can eliminate it as a way to do something. Another way to have made these holes is I could have put it on the sander and kind of sanded it away, which might be a better way because I don't know if you can see it, but it's kind of split here on the edges. But at least it lies flat now. So I want to put these guys together. And I think the way to do that is to put a hole in it and run a bolt. Let's see what I got. I'm rapidly running out of places to. Okay, wait, I'm not going to use this right now. So. Originally, I was just going to put them together with a plumber's epoxy, but I think this is a more elegant solution here. You end up, when you're building this stuff, you end up collecting all kinds of odds and ends that you may or may not need at some point. This might be useful. There's some nuts. I think I have some in here that have both feet. Screw and the nut. And I want a machine screw here too. Nope. This is just like the tip of the iceberg here too, as far as how many of these things I have. Threaded rod. Okay. And there's some little ones. Those might work. Yeah, I'll use these for now. I tell you, I hate having a bunch of these things that I do not have both ends of the piece for, like having a bunch of bolts that have no nut that goes along with it. Okay, tiny little hole in this. I wonder if I can get away with using the same bracket that I already made. I wonder if there's an easy way to mark where this is. That kind of worked. Okay. Start right there. How I'm going to mark the other side, I'll never know, but. Okay, I'm trying to do this in such a way so I don't kill myself with it. There we go. I may need to make this wider because I don't think I can get my finger in there. I need just a little bit bigger hole. So funny. This is just a little too small. I'll just keep running through them until I use up every one of these drill bits. See, I'm doing this hard work so you don't have to, right? This would be a lot easier if I didn't, if this hole was just a little bit bigger. Okay, there we go. There's one. Okay, I'm just guessing where this one goes, but we'll see. How I'm ever going to tighten this thing. I kind of just need to get it started. I never in a million years thought my fingers would be too big for something like this. Okay, I think I just got to make these holes a little bit bigger. Or at least I can do this now. Not that you can see anything I'm doing, but nobody's watching, so who cares, right? I think it's spinning. Doesn't have to be super tight. It just has to keep these things together. Okay, let me see if I can find a wrench that can cinch this down a little bit more. I don't have a lot of wrenches, but boy, I have nothing this small. Maybe that'll work. A second, let me grab one of these things so I can figure out what size I need. I don't think this is going to fit down in there, but I can try. Oh, where's the ratchet? I'm going to knock your head in with a ratchet. Where is it? Well, this might be the night I go out and buy a new tool. Let's see. Yeah, I do not have a bit that will fit this thing. But I have a bit that'll fit it, but I don't have a ratchet that'll fit the bit. Okay, who's here? Oh, hey, how's it going? I caught you today, and I'm watching and sewing at the same time. Oh, great! What are you making? Is this TC or is this somebody else? This is the most ridiculous way I've ever tried to tighten something. Let me see if I can do it. This is working ever so much, so slowly. It'd work a lot easier with a ratchet. Hi, TC. Good to see you. Yeah, I got on a little late today. I had an audition over at Knott's. All right, so that actually looks pretty good. Now let me see if I can make this work. So there's the eyes. They'll sit up inside the head. Make sure I have this going the right way. It's going to be too wide, so I'm going to have to bend these out, which won't be too bad. Sorry, I'm just trying to visualize how this is going to go together. Okay. So I want to have it in there so that it goes over the fingers, but not so wide that... Okay, so let me make one out of cardboard so I can figure out what I'm building. Inventing some Santa outfits for some builds. Nice for your Santa job, I hope. No, I didn't get that one. So I auditioned as a puppeteer, and then I also, the one I'm most excited about today is somebody to draw Charlie Brown in the park, which would be great. I would love to do that one. It's the role I was born to play. Okay, so I want something like this that the eyes can sit on top of. I can glue in there. That's not too terrible. I guess I'll build that. And I want to put 2 holes in it, like so. Okay, I'm going to transfer this over to a... Let me make sure that that's... I know this side's nice, and so that's exactly the one I want. I want to do this side. I want to have that and that. Not that you can see what I'm doing here. I want that to be the same on both sides. Okay, so I'm going to cut this off. And I'm just going to have that on a piece of paper. On the paper. Let me get some of these tools out of here. Oh my God. Yeah, you know, honestly, I mean, there's this skill, if you can call it that, something I've done ever since I was a little kid. You know, can draw. Okay. Fairly good Charlie Brown there. Fairly fast. That's not one of my better ones, but I mean, the role I was born to play. You know, I can do all that from memory, and it'd be nice to be paid for it, you know. There were a lot of people trying for it, though, so who knows? I'm going to true this up a little bit. side is a lot smaller than the. That's 5/8. Yeah, I think so too. I'm really hoping that it goes somewhere. Oh, hello. Sorry, I can't read your. Let's see. I'm gonna put this up a little bit higher. Oh, hey, how's it going? Is that? Sorry, Joseph Cars. Have we talked before? Your name seems familiar, but I can't place it. Okay, give it a full punch. All right. So we'll see if this works now. So this is a piece of polystyrene that I had left over from the one that I made yesterday. Goku Muppet. What's the Goku Muppet? Are you talking Goguru from Mandalorian? Okay, so these little tick marks, those are where the folds are going to be. I'll cut out the rest of it right now. I'm just making a big old mess. thing about polystyrene is you just kind of score it and you can break it. Okay, so now I'm going to heat this up and bend it to make it there. Oh, I want to drill it first. I got to clean this up, space up a little bit first too. Okay. So what I basically did is the first version, I identified some problems that I had, and I've tried to address those in this one. And each version after this will get a little bit better, a little bit closer to what I want. And hopefully, I'll get it to a point where it works. All right, so let me get these hands out of the way. Okay. Okay, so I want to heat that up. The heat gun. Hopefully I can do a little bit better job than I did on the last one. But that one was just kind of figured out on the fly, and so hopefully this one will. Okay. All right. Okay, here we go. Here goes nothing. I want to put this on something that isn't going to burn. Not a good plan. Let's see what I got. I have anything that's not going to melt from that heat gun. This may be a bad idea, but I've got a skillet just to keep myself from burning the house down. All right, here we go. So I'm going to move that into position, and then I'm going to cool it. And I'll move this one into position, and I'll cool it. Maybe I'll do this side, so keep it. So I don't know if you saw it, but it got kind of droopy there. So now I got that. Great. I'm gonna make sure I can get my fingers still in there still. Okay. I guess I can put this away now. I should get a cookie sheet or something to use that for. I know the guys on Punish Props have a whole dedicated area. Okay, so it's not perfect, but it'll do for this version of it. Okay, so what I want to do now is I want to mark those holes on this and then run bolts up to hold that in place. Not sure what the easiest way to do that is. It's more or less even. You know what I should do on the real one is I should cut away this edge here so I can get to it. In fact, I may do that right now. In fact, I'm going to do that right now. All right, so here goes nothing. Let me see if I can mark it. Where's that? It's just a guesstimate, but it'll get me in the ballpark here. Okay, so now from that, I'm going to use one of these guys. Are they called Forstner bits? What are these things called? But they work great on plastic like this. Maybe I'll not have my fingers right behind it. It doesn't really chew up the... There we go. So it doesn't really chew up the plastic, so which is nice. Thing about it is, all this is going to have to be done again, at least one more time. And since I'm making two of them, I'll have to make two more. It may be more than that, but I am learning something on each one of these versions of this I'm doing. Like on the next one, before I fold it in half, I'm probably going to cut these holes so they can be a little bit bigger. And I'm probably going to make it so that it is joined here so that it's easier to work with. But I think this will work on this version of it. And who knows, I might want to have all that extra space to glue to, because I'm going to have to glue it. Okay, so now we have this. And I want to be able to mark where those eyes attach. And I think now I can get a pen down in there. Almost. I could do it on the one side, but I can't do it on this side. All right, let me see if I can get a pencil down in there. Yeah, look, I was able to mark both those holes. Okay. One thing about this is it glides, and you really do not want to put this into your hand. So I'm trying to hold it in such a way so I don't, if it misfires, I'm trying to go real slow. So that way, if it misfires, I don't mess up my hand. There we go. Okay. Home stretch. Okay, so now I'm going to put this, I'm going to feed this head up through, this bolt through this little hole. Okay, that worked. grab the other one. That one through. Because I don't want this against my fingers. If I can help it. Okay, there's that. Feed that through these little holes here that I just drilled. Not perfect, but it works. Feed the little nut on. Tighten it up as much as I can. Feed the little nut on. Okay. I'm not sure that I can tighten this, but there we go. See if I could find the ratchet that goes with this. It'd be much easier. If I could fit the ratchet in here. Wish I knew what Goku was. Somebody asked, "Hey, bro, what do you think about making a Goku Muppet?" I don't know who Goku is. All right. All right, look at that. That's pretty good, huh? Okay, so where's the headpiece? Here we go. Now this I want to glue onto here like so. Or, you know what? I may have to cut some of this away. But I can do that. It's not going to be easy, but I can do it. Because this needs to be more like this. See, I'm learning something each time. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to cut away. If I can get this pen off. I'm going to cut away that much of it. On both sides. I wonder if I should leave some of this. No, I'm going to take that off. What do I care? Okay. Where are my scissors? This is really thick polystyrene too, so we'll see if it actually will do it without shattering. Oh, you know what I should do? I should drill it right there. Okay, now I should be able to cut it right to that. And then right to here. Okay. And then I should be able to cut this. I keep saying. Let's see. Okay, I'm going to do this and hopefully not hurt myself. Oh my God, that's tough. Well, I could use a Dremel. I could go across here like that with a Dremel pretty easily. Maybe that's what I'll do. Oh, okay. Hey, Steve. Grogu is from Dragon Ball Z. I have no knowledge about Dragon Ball Z, and I don't know that I'll ever build one. No. Okay. Still trying to figure out the best way to cut this here. I mean, I suppose I could hit it with a heat gun to soften it, and then I could cut through it like butter. I suppose I could do that. Yeah, or I think the Dremel is my best bet. But if I had known this beforehand, it would be like if I had made the original one like this, I mean, like if I had known that I needed to make all these cuts, it would have been a lot easier on me. So. Okay, there's that. I'm done with the heat gun. Hopefully this will go very easily. I think I'll put on my glove just in case, even though I don't know what this will actually do to help me, but here we go. All right. That's pretty easy. Look at that. Let me hold this in such a way so it's a little safer on me. There we go. Let me get rid of that thing before I hurt something. Okay, there's a lot of nice sharp edges here now too, which is not what I wanted. I guess I'll have to. I had some sandpaper here. Again, little by little, I start to whittle away about what this needs to look like. So what have we learned? We learned, number one, that I need to put this notch in here. I'm going to, if it works, I'm going to transfer that to it. And I also don't need to drill these holes in here, because without these notches, I have some files here someplace too, which probably would behoove me. All right. Well, that's not terrible. Okay, there's this thing. Now fits over that right there, which is cool. We've got time to glue that down. Okay, so here's what we got right now. So these need to be bent out so they'll go around, but I'm going to do that after I get this glued down. I probably could run wire across it too, which would strengthen it, but I don't want to add anything to the front part of this mouth plate. So I think the best option is to first put tack it down with super glue, and then cover the whole thing in epoxy to keep it in place. So, and that might be the end of this lesson. This not really a tutorial, but this part of it, because I'm gonna have to let that dry. Okay, so let me get this all situated here. What are you up to, Charles? What are you building these days? Hopefully you guys can kind of understand my process and what I'm trying to do. There's my epoxy, and that'll work. And there's that. I don't need this. I don't need this. All right. So I'm going to put some glue on this piece, and I'm going to spray the the kicker on there. All right, let's see if we can get this to work. See if I can do it without actually getting this all over my hands. Okay. Make sure that's all the way on. There you go. Okay. Okay. Here goes nothing. I'm doing a bang-up job here. Still on the same project. I got the legs and the feet done today. Next we'll be covering with F3. Were you working on I can't remember what you were working on. It's not the unicorn, right? Something else? Okay, there we go. Oh, I put these on backwards. Oh, crap. Well, let's take it off. Do it again. You guys are supposed to warn me. All right. Let me try this again. Now it's not going to stick worth a darn. That's okay. This is what prototypes are for. Oh my gosh. Well, that's not going to stick worth a darn. All right. Maybe the super glue is not the best option for this thing. Okay. Ah! There goes my reputation for knowing what I'm doing. Okay, let's try this again. Try not to get it on me. I still have managed not to do that. Okay, where's the... Oh, right. Oh, now I got this glue on me. Okay. Okay. Now, I'll try not to touch it until it cures. Ah, boy. Managed to get glue all over my hands again, but not as bad as I did the last time, where I stuck a couple of my fingers together. Yeah. Well, again, this is all the process. I'll know better on the next one. Hopefully, I won't actually glue this clamp to it as well. Although, I'm not holding my breath. Okay, I'd like to cover... Once it's stuck, I'd like to cover the whole thing in epoxy. Keep it in place. It feels... Oh, look at that. All right. On to the next thing. Sorry, you couldn't see any of that. All right, I'm going to put epoxy over this entire thing here. And then let it cure. And then I'm going to call that a day. Because I got a lot done today on this. I'd like to bend those eyebrows in place, but I don't think I'm ready for that yet. I got to open the window too. Ugh. Okay, I'm just taking this, I'm kind of pasting it in place over it all. I like to try and overbuild these mechanisms so that they don't break on me the first time I use them. They may break the second time I use them, but okay. Get that away from the glue. Call that a day. What do I end up using for the eyes? So I'm just using the big jumbo-sized ping pong balls at this point. I don't know what I'm going to actually use, but that's what I am using for this prototype because they're about the right size. Again, I start refining as I go. I don't think this is going to be the final setup for this. I think it's going to be it's going to keep evolving probably through 2 more iterations of it to make it a little bit less janky. But hey, at least I got that set up. Okay. And I want to make sure I keep this mechanism away from the glue before it sets up because I don't want it to glue it in place, which will be bad. Let me get this out of here. I suppose at this point, if these were the final eyes, this would be where I could paint it. But I'm not 100% sure I'm not going to have to run foam up there at some point. I was going to get the goo gone. I'm never 100% sure this stuff is not going to melt the ping pong ball. So let's see. I don't know if you can see it, but there's some stuff here which may or may not come off. It kind of came off. Okay, there we go. Okay. Oh, it still hasn't set up. I should not have put my hand in there. Okay. I think I'm done for the night on this. I did get a lot done on it, thankfully. And hopefully it won't. Trying to balance this in such a way, so I think maybe. So I broke a popsicle stick or a tongue depressor so that it'll lie flat. So if it does ooze, it won't cause a drip that causes it to stick to the table. Okay, so I think I got a lot done on this thing. I mean, it's still janky, but it's not as janky as this one. But you can kind of see where I'm going with this. I think once I think tomorrow, I may be a little late. I have a meeting tomorrow afternoon, so depending on if that goes late. But I think tomorrow I can start. I can get those eyelids bent into place, and I can start prototyping the head, and get something that resembles Gonzo tomorrow, which would be nice. He may not have his beak, but he might have everything else. So, Again, this is to try and get this mechanism that is going to work. I'm not 100% sure that I've gotten it to that point yet, but I mean, I made some progress, so that's good. So I think once it's done, where's my pen? I think the wire is going to come out of here, and it's going to come out that little piece, and then it's going to go, there's the eye. It's going to go around like so. I think that's the way his eyelid's going to be on both sides. So that's kind of what I'm going for with this setup. Hopefully it'll work. So as far as the head goes, I'm carving the beak, but I'm going to flat pattern the back of his head because I don't feel like my skills are good enough to carve that thing completely. And I think there's no way to flat pattern the nose to hide all the seams. And I think that's the best way for me to do it. So I'm gonna flat pattern the back of his head so it'll be hollow, and then I will carve the front. I did find some foam online that's gonna work. I can go grab that to show it to you. So I have two pieces of this block of foam. It's 33 ppi reticulated foam, probably enough to make two beaks out of, and I've got two of them. So I'll probably make one prototype one, and then there's actually enough here to do the whole head. But like I said, I'm not confident with my own carving skills to do a complete head and have it be correct. So I'm just gonna do the beak out of this. At least that's the plan right now. And we'll see how I can do it. I have a side profile that was it's a Terry Angus head, which the iMech didn't work in that, which is what kind of led to this job, is trying to make it so that the iMech will work. But yeah, it's a Sherpa fleece that he had. It's the same stuff that was on the Gonzo that he has. He's able to track some down, and he has 2 yards of it. He has 1 yard of the correct stuff with a little white fur in it, and then he has another yard with without it. And so he's letting me make one for me out of the bad stuff, or the not 100% authentic, and then he's having me make his out of the fur that he had. He bought it like 25 years ago. So I mean, it'll look good, and hopefully the iMech will work. I don't know if it'll be 100%. I usually can get to about 90, and I'm happy. He always wants it to be 100%, and I don't know if I can deliver that, but I'll do my best. I would get it out, but it's kind of buried right now. Yeah, still, I think I'm going to have this sit overnight so it doesn't ruin my hands. These eyes are crooked, but Besides that, they're pretty good. Okay, I think I'm done for the night. One last look at these things. As you can see, that is sticking to it already, but that'll be okay. Yeah. Oh, the frozen puppets turned out really good. I finished both of them. I finished all four of. Well, I finished three of them. I have a, Olaf head. I don't have the Olaf body because the second production only needed his head. They had rented the whole Olaf from another company. But I did make a second spend. Both of them turned out and they both worked. Thank goodness. I have the other one in my living room or in my dining room right now. But yeah, they both turned out great. I'm happy to be done with them. I never want to make them again. It was 9 weeks of dealing with all that fur, and I do not recommend it. But yeah, it was not as much fun as I'd hoped it'd be. But they're done. I'm working on a couple other commissions that they don't want them on camera, so I can't show you those guys. But that one will be one of them will be finished probably tonight or tomorrow, and then on to 3 more, and then I got 2 after that, and then I got this Gonzo I'm working on. So that's basically the rest of my year. Is you're gonna see Gonzo until I'm done with the other ones because none of them want their puppets on camera. I don't think there's anything else that's on the horizon. So if you want a puppet, let me know. I can probably squeeze you in February. Alrighty, I'm going to get out of here. But thank you for joining me for this part 2 of this never-ending saga to figure out Gonzo's eye mechanism. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Puppet building is still work. Yeah, it is. It is still work. Believe me, it's been helpful. I love doing this stuff, but again, it's sometimes tough to have stuff for the feed, and sometimes I need the extra time to devote to these other things. So, which is why I've been kind of spotty lately, is because I haven't really had the bandwidth to take on too many extra projects. I can pretty much throw this away now. This is not working anymore. Alrighty. Okay, I will see you guys tomorrow. Oh, you want to see? I can show you Olaf real quick. Just 1 second. So this is the way the second head turned out, and he was actually a definite improvement over the first one. The first one's mouth was a little stiff, but yeah. So he turned out pretty good. The nose comes off, sticks back on. The eyebrows don't do anything, and the eyes don't do anything. But neither did the one they rented, so I'm not too far off the mark. But his innards look. What's that? Oh, it's hot glue. That's what his innards look like. I don't know if you can see in there, but yeah. But yeah. I might be able. Well, no, I'm not gonna get that. Where's my phone? Here, I can show you this though. Okay, so See if I can get this in a position where you can see it. That's the way the second Olaf turned out. So, anyway. He's a beast. 7.5 feet long. Those puppets just got so big I couldn't do anything with them on camera. So anyway, I've been trying to get out of here for the last half an hour, so I should probably get going. All right, have a good night. I'll see you guys tomorrow. See you later. How do I get out of this?